In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, we give praise and thanks to Allah for blessing us with His guidance to the human family. We thank Him for Moses and the Torah. We thank Him for Jesus and the Gospel. We thank Him for Muhammad and the Quran. Peace be upon these worthy servants of Allah. As a student of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, I am grateful to Allah for His intervention in our affairs, in the person of the great Mahdi, Master W. Farad Muhammad, who came among us and raised from among us a divine leader, teacher, and guide for us, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I greet all of you, my dear brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. To Minister Stephen Muhammad, to all of the reverend clergy and ministers, imams, civic and political leaders, organizational leaders, my dear brothers and sisters, I'm very honored to be here in Akron with you tonight. I'm sorry that it is rather hot in here. I know they have air conditioning in these buildings. But in the last 4 stops that I have made, for some reason, I noticed the air conditioning hasn't been working. And of course, they know we generate a lot of heat, and they want to make the crowd uncomfortable, and I hope that they will cut the price and give you back some of your hard-earned money for renting you a facility that doesn't have air. I'm sure it's some technical difficulty. But be that as it may, I pray that Almighty God, Allah, will bless me with cool words that will warm your hearts and, God willing, be a blessing to you. I understand that the auditorium is filled and you have another auditorium? Cafeteria. Are they watching on closed circuit television? Well, to all those watching by closed circuit television, I'm very honored to see you through the camera. And I pray that tonight your presence at this beautiful auditorium will be rewarded. I'm so honored by the presence of so many distinguished reverend clergy, so many distinguished civic leaders, members of the black press and white press, imams, wonderful Muslim brothers and sisters. I just feel very special tonight in Akron, Ohio. I don't wish to keep you long, but I do intend not to cheat you in what I came by the grace of Allah to give you. As you know, we are doing an 80 to 90 city tour to promote a World Day of Atonement, reconciliation, and responsibility. This holy day of atonement was declared by a cross-section of spiritual and religious leaders 2 years ago in Rankin Chapel at Howard University in Washington, D.C. We felt that as black people, we needed a holy day, a day that we declared independent of our former slave masters and their children. You know, all the holidays that we have are days that they gave us, with the exception of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and we had to go and fight them to recognize such a great brother who contributed so much to the welfare and well-being of America and the world. We decided, however, that we were not going to ask their approval. We don't care to be paid. That's right. It's all right. Yes, sir. We just feel the necessity to declare a day for God, that we may inspire our people in particular and America in general to return to the path of God. The path of God is the path of favor and success. The path that leads away from God leads to loss, ruin, disgrace, and ultimately death. We have no holy days. It is unfortunate that as Christians, every day you have as a holy day has been profaned. When I was a little boy, the Sabbath to every Christian, every Jew, and every Muslim meant something. Today, the Sabbath means something to Jews. Yes, sir. And maybe to some Christians, yes, sir, who observe the Sabbath on a Saturday. Yes, sir. But those who observe the Sabbath on a Sunday, everything goes now. When I was a young fella, there were certain things you couldn't do on the Sabbath. Right. Today, even the Sabbath is profaned. Not to think of Christmas. That's right. More alcohol is bought, sold, and consumed on Christmas than any other day of the year. Yes, sir. And the big fat fella from the north has pushed Jesus out on his own day and the children who are Christians are not looking for the Christ child. They are looking to see what Santa left under the tree. That's right. Yes, sir. So the day that is supposed to be the Christians' holiest day is profaned by commercial enterprise who really know it's a Merry Christmas because you have spent money that you don't even have, and their business is in the black for the whole year because of what you spent on Christmas. You are not as wise as the wise men. They came from the east. They didn't bring all the gold, all the frankincense, and all the myrrh. They brought just enough to let the baby know that there's more where that came from. But unfortunately, you give away everything you have on Christmas and spend the rest of the year trying to catch up. Well, I think we ought to stop now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
The foolishness. And begin to seriously honor and respect the Creator of the heavens and the earth.
Yes, sir.
There's much that I want to say, but I think I should go right to the heart of what I wanted to say.
Yes, sir.
America is in very deep trouble.
Yes, sir.
America is sick and in need of a healing. The black community is sick and in need of a healing. The world is sick and in need of a healing. The question is, where will the healing come from? Who is the doctor?
That's right.
And what is the medicine?
Yes, sir.
So many of us are suffering, and we feel that the solution is political, or we feel that the solution is economic, or we feel that the solution may be social. And we worked on the social level to correct unjust laws. We worked on the political level to get people the right to vote. And now we're beginning to work on the economic level. But America cannot balance her budget.
That's right.
She knows economics, but she's over $5 trillion in debt. To service $5 trillion in debt, she has to pay over $300 billion every year just to service the debt, meaning to pay the interest on the debt without even regard for the principal.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
America takes in a little over $1 trillion in taxes every year. Yet the budget is $1,600,000,000,000. So that means that she's $500 billion over what she takes in
That's right.
for her budget.
Yes, sir.
Then she has to pay $300 billion of that to service the debt. So she keeps on borrowing, mortgaging the future of the American people.
Yes, sir.
This is not the problem of the poor. The poor did not do this. It is those who we have elected, who have mismanaged the economy to the point where now they want to balance the budget on the backs of the poor. We know that there should be welfare reform, but to pull the safety net out from under deserving people would be criminal, especially after we fought, bled, and died to make America what America is, not yet having enjoyed the promise of America. The little bit of money that they give us in welfare cannot even be considered a drop in the bucket in comparison to what America owes the black man and woman for what she has forced us to suffer in our sojourn. President Clinton wants to heal the racial divide. I think that is a noble gesture. And somebody in Congress said, we ought to apologize for slavery. And the president thought it was a good idea, so he was ready to take the point and apologize. But now he's backed away from that entirely because some of his advisors told him, don't do that, because if you apologize, then you're admitting we've done something wrong, and then those Negroes will start asking for reparations. So he backed away from any apology. Well, apologies are a start in the right direction.
That's right.
If I stepped on Brother's shoe accidentally, I didn't damage his foot or even scuff the shoe, I can say to him, brother, I'm so sorry that I stepped on your shoe. He said, no problem, brother.
That's right.
Watch where you're going next time. No. But if I have some grape juice in my hand and I happen to be walking and bump into the brother and spill my whole glass of grape juice on his white shirt and suit, well, now an apology is okay. That starts the process, but he's upset now because he don't look too nice. So I got to reach in my pocket and say, brother, whatever the cleaning bill is, here, sir, take this.
Yes, sir.
Now he may still be upset, but I have shown him the earnestness of my apology by not only saying it, but paying for the cleaning of his suit. Now, for America to say, black folk, we are sorry. I mean, it sounds good, but look at the condition of this people. Damages have been done to us that have not healed in 442 years. So you can't apologize and let it go at that. See, really, what you owe, you really can't pay. You don't have it in money. So God has to cry out on our behalf for justice. I'll get to that in a moment. Have you noticed that the American educational system is failing
Yes, sir.
to educate our young people?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that this is an accident?
No, sir.
Or is it a part of a conspiracy to dumb down the American people,
Yes, sir.
to make the masses like sheep, so that a small 10% minority in the world might control the whole human family under a one world government that takes power from the masses of the people and invests power in the hands of a few?
Yes, sir.
Let's see if this is some fantastic foolishness or is it a real conspiracy?
Come on. Yes, sir.
And if it is a conspiracy, where is it written?
Come on.
In the Bible,
Yes, sir.
in the Holy Quran.
Yes, sir.
Now, there's no sense in reading the Bible
Come on.
or the Holy Quran if what is in the Bible is stories of the ancients and it has no bearing on what we're going through today.
That's right.
Then you could throw the book away.
That's right.
But oh, brother and sister, don't you do that. Because that Bible has a bearing on everything that is going on in the world today.
Yes, sir.
And of course, so does the Quran.
Yes, sir.
There are scholars now, Jewish scholars, who are non-religious, who have discovered that the Torah in Hebrew is based on a mathematical code that once it is decoded, every event up to the judgment of the world and the persons that contribute to that event is already written in code in the Torah. The world mathematicians have been presented with this code, and they all agree that the code is real, that the mathematics that is rooted in the Bible prophecy is greater than anything that Einstein thought of, greater than quantum physics. The mathematics of the Bible and the Quran is such that it needed a computer to begin to break the code.
Yes, sir.
But the God who revealed it
Yes, sir.
needed no computer. He is the computer. And every event up to this very moment has been laid out. The names of the persons, what they did, who killed them, in the code.
Come on. Yes, sir.
They have found that the Holy Quran is also rooted in a mathematical code.
Yes, sir.
Well, what does that do to the scientists? They say, my God, there is a wisdom in the revealed words of God that far surpasses our ability mathematically and scientifically to grasp it. So even these secular scholars are forced to admit only God could have revealed the Torah. Only God could have revealed the gospel. Only God could have revealed the Quran. Now these are people who have not necessarily believed in God. At least not the way religion and God has been represented. You know, the wise ones who know God, they give you a little pablum with God on it. Hey, eat this, you like this. And you who eat what they give in the name of religion think you got a grip on God.
That's right.
You couldn't and be powerless.
That's right.
You can't know God and be powerless.
That's right.
And you can't be oppressed and be a Christian. The two are not synonymous.
Right.
If you're oppressed, you don't know Christ.
Come on. That's right.
If you know Christ, you're not oppressed. Oh, Farrakhan, now wait a minute. I know Christ and I'm catching it. Lord knows I'm catching it. No, you know his name. And that's a starting point. But to be acquainted with his wisdom and his power and who in reality he is, and to say you're oppressed, you really don't understand. No way you could know Christ and say, I can do all things through Christ which strengtheneth me, and then talk about how white folk are putting it on you. You just can't do that. Can't do it. You can't say, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world, and then say, I'm oppressed. You know what I mean? They sucking it to me. You don't understand, brother. Because the moment you know him, he empowers you. You're no longer oppressed. You become a liberating influence on those who still feel they are oppressed. You can't be a real Jew and feel oppressed. And you certainly can't be a Muslim and be oppressed. Just can't. If you know Allah and you bear witness that there is no God but him, you're free.
That's right. Free.
You have no fear of nothing or no one. When you fear only God, you're free.
That's right.
But Lord, let's be real. You're afraid of everything. Poor people. You're scared that you're not going to get enough money to pay your rent. You're really frightened to death of white folk. I mean, they have done enough evil to make anybody afraid of them who don't know God. And they have put themselves in a place that you would worship them thinking that you're worshiping God. That's why the wise white ones don't pay no attention to religion. Because they really know that that's a concoction that have been fixed up for the masses.
Yes, sir. That's right.
Oh, now you say, Farrakhan, dear pastors, please don't be angry with me. Don't be angry with me. But listen, wait a minute. If we reason together, you would know that any man who would not treat you right will not teach you right. And a man who wants to be a slave master is not going to teach his slaves how to get free from his power.